Yeah, bridging the gap. Nyomi Banks, the goddess. Tune in. Hey yo, Black, where we at? Elements. Got a problem? What's the issue? Ask Nyomi for advice, she will bless you. Is it sex, love, or relationships? If your spirits are down, you can get a daily uplift. Just listen every word that she speaks. Setting trends with hashtags for every day of the week. Hashtag motivational Mondays, testimonial Tuesdays. I've been listening for the last 2 days. Wet Willie or Wisdom Wednesdays. Either way, the conversation gon' be lengthy. It's not hearsay. This is her way. You know she'll keep you thirst trapping on a Thursday. 4 days down, I'll talk about the number 5 day. Never coy, she always keeps it freaky on Fridays. Spiritual on Saturdays with sessions in the morning. Still uplifting and inspiring you all in. Being the goddess that she is, she keeps you all in. Formed on soul searching Sundays, just call in. If you misinformed, come get the facts. Fortunate for you, she's looking to bridge the gap. Yes, she was a porn star, but she's more than that. She's a certified specialist teaching us how to act. By the end of the show, we'll agree to disagree, but be good to each other and ourselves and keep it sexy. Yeah. Tune in every week to Ask Nyomi. Bridging the gap with Nyomi Banks and Dog Pound Mike. Don't miss it. Tune in.
Hey, it's your girl, the goddess Nyomi Banks, and welcome to another episode of Ask Nyomi, Bridging the Gap podcast. This is where we talk about love, sex, relationship, cultural differences, and so much more by bridging the gap between them all and teaching the world on love language, sex, attitude, and spiritual uplifting. What is going on, my BTG crew? And Dog Pound Mike, what's going on?
It's all good. It's all good.
All right, so last week we had a really great show with a fantastic, an amazing, beautiful guest, Miss Stacey Lane. It was very enlightening. I just love to see a lot of the women that has transitioned from the adult industry and are truly finding their voice in their, in their way in this world. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so today's topic I want to speak about is whose shame is it really? You know, when we live in the world, well, sometimes when we feel embarrassed or shame, and sometimes we ask, is that shame really ours or is it someone else's? Meaning, is that where society dims what we supposed to be or we supposed to feel because of their moral standards or whatever their beliefs are?
Right.
So this topic tonight is that we're going to dive in on this conversation to truly see what it is and how can we kind of get through it. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
How can we be more compassionate and empathetic to each other so we won't be shaming each other or shame bashing or anything of that. So I'm going to tell y'all about this. We're going to take a quick break and then we're going to come back. And then we're going to talk about whose shame is it really. It's your girl, the goddess Nyomi Banks here on Ask Nyomi Bridget Gap podcast.
Hey, my sexy people, it's your girl, the goddess Nyomi Banks. And I finally did it. I've written my first book. Well, actually, it's a living journal. It's called Good Morning, My Sexy People, where I share my stories in different posts, but help a healing workbook for you. So it's 90 days to kick off your healing living journey. Pre-purchase now. Go to asknyomi.com and hit shop. Listen. Hey, my sexy people, this is your girl, the goddess Nyomi Banks, and I just wanted to talk about something a little serious real quick. Right now in this world, sex trafficking is at an all-time high, and I want you ladies to be especially aware when you are out and pay attention to certain things. Now, there's a list of things right here that is going around social media, and I just wanted to pay special attention to it and just share it with you. So as I always say, always keep it sexy, but always be safe.
Hey, it's your girl, the goddess. Welcome back to Ask Nyomi Bridget Gap podcast. I'm here with my boy, Dog Pound Mike. What's going on?
It's all good. It's all good, man. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. So let me say this. I was sitting on this for a minute. And because how it all kicked off, I'm gonna tell you how it all kicked off. And actually, this topic of whose shame is it really? I was gonna do this like towards the end of the summer. I wasn't gonna do it now. I was kind of, going towards the end of the summer with it, but seeming that it was needed now.
Couldn't wait no more.
It could not wait any longer. It had to be done now. It had to truly be done now. And this is the thing, and this is why I truly believe, because I know that many times as we get older or we just live in life, we make choices and decisions that's as not always, popular to society or what they deem is right,
Mm-hmm.
right, correct. And so years ago, I had saw there were several different young ladies that had committed suicide from bullying in the adult industry.
Wow.
And that really, I was like, oh my God, like I really wish that there was an outlet or somewhere that these young women, could have spoke to somebody about, could have talked to, or gave them, to find the strength to be able to overcome the bullying and the shame that people were putting on them for the decision that they made on their own life, on their own career. You understand what I'm saying? So in this case, and I'm not just talking about, being as a sex worker, I'm talking about with different things that people shame people, from their sexual orientation, their mental illness, or just anything that is not of what people feel that of the norm. They will bully them, they will shame them, embarrass them for that. And I guess I want to really know, and I want to hear from my BTG crew too, as well as I would really want to know is that really your thing? Is it really on you, or is it on someone else? Is that something that they're doing, to kind of take it off for them? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I guess it's like, so now how do we navigate through it? How do we navigate through this complex web of shame and identity, especially when it comes from a marginalized community, when it's to us? So how can we get this? How can we get through it? How can we heal through it? And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Okay.
That's what we're going to talk about today. So I'm going to tell you all why I pushed it so far up today versus them putting it back. So yeah, guys, remember a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, right? I had did the show on surrender. Remember what I was telling you about me surrendering, that experiment, the book that I read,
Right.
and that I had, took down I had made the choice to take down all of my adult sites because I was at a crossroads. And so I was, had a little small, I think it was a minute and 20 second video, viral video that I put up, and this started a fire. When I say, I mean, it started a fire. Just on my page alone, there was over 101,000 views. And that was just on my page alone. On 101,000. It's probably more than that now. 101,000 views on that. So I'm gonna let y'all see what I'm talking about, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna discuss this. Health industry. I got in it for a reason, and my reason was to help financially. My father was very ill, very, very ill, that he had to have 24-hour care at one time. And my mom wanted me to come back home to help out, get a job or whatever. What I did was I went on I didn't jump head in, but we just gonna cut it. I went on into the adult industry because it was a multi-billion-dollar industry. And I figure if I can get a couple of these millions where I can be able to help my family and still do what I was gonna do, then that's what I did. Not knowing that all of this was gonna transpire for me. You understand what I'm saying? So at that time, that was a part of my purpose. Then while in there, I was able to meet some phenomenal people. I really was. Some phenomenal people that I was able to make within this industry. But not only that, I saw how the outside world was treating that world, our world. And I didn't like that. So then I was like, no, let's change the narrative on how they see us. very, so you guys see that minute and 20-second video, it when I say that I knew I was going to have a little backlash. I did. But I didn't know that it was going to be like that.
Wow.
I didn't know it was going to be like that. And when I say, I'm not even going to, because at first I was trying to figure out how can I, because I know this is a learning lesson that's supposed to be put out there. You understand what I'm saying? Because let me tell y'all, every morning, well, I do it every morning anyway, but before the show, before the surrender show, I prayed, meditated, and all of that. I prayed and meditated on it, is this the show that I should do? And it was yes, be bold and tell your truth. Use this platform to tell your truth, because whatever it is it's bigger than me. And that's what I did. So when the time was come out, that video was to come out, I edited. Yes, I did. And remember, I was explaining to you all that if it's not a purpose in life for me, then I'm not doing it. Saying that I found out once I got into the industry what my purpose is. You understand what I'm saying? So my reasoning, one of my reasoning was it was to help my mother and my father financially, which I did do, and other family members, which I did do. But then the fallback on it was crazy. It was crazy. And all I kept hearing when I was seeing all of the comments was just like, be bold. I told you to be bold. I told you to be bold. This is your truth. This is your truth. So as I watched the comments, and I mean, when I say these comments said my daddy should have died. Literally. They said if he would have known that you did that, he should have died. I mean, it was some awful things in there. And if I wasn't going through this healing process, if I hadn't been going through this for the past 10 years, and I just finished reading this amazing book called The Four Agreements. I don't know what, I probably would have been cussing they butts out. I probably would Southside Chicago on their asses. But I didn't. How I looked at it like, wow. Wow. Like this is and when remember the next day I came back and I wrote a post and I said I said thank you. Thank you for all of the comments, because they all were amazing. Both the good and the bad, because that video did exactly what God intended it to. He did it exactly what God intended it to. What it revealed is that it's a lot of broken, hurt people in this world, and that we do not have empathy or compassion or grace for one another. That's exactly what it showed me. And that's why I did not take not one I took one comment off, because one dude kind of went a little bit too far, telling all where my family lived at, then I had to take that one off. But everything else, I left it on there. You know why? Because I wanted the world to see. Because I definitely said, no, this is a learning experience. This is something that needs to be put out there, because people do not understand how cruel that you can be. I was everything up under the sun. I was worse than, like, I was not human. And I looked at that and I was not, and this is the crazy thing, I was not sad. I was just looking at it like, wow. I remember a few of my girlfriends called me to check on me, and I was like, I'm good. You good?
They're ready to roll.
I'm good because they know she ready to. No, I wasn't. Because I knew I triggered some things. I knew I did a lot of things in that 1 minute and 20 seconds. In that 1 minute and 27 seconds, I turned it upside down, inside out, backwards and forwards.
Wow.
And the amazing thing is that even me coming here talking about shame, it was also an opportunity for me to talk about the 4 agreements. A few weeks ago, I had wrote up there and I said that words are magic and that you need to use your words wisely. And when I saw all of those comments coming in and down through to me, for me, I thought about this book. And I kept saying over and over and over again in my head, fofo, fofo. The fofo. No, I'm not doing no gang sign or nothing like that, but the fofo is a reminder for me of the 4 agreements. And I'm going to share those 4 agreements with you. This book is written by Don Miguel Ruiz. It's called The 4 Agreements. And I have to, even when I'm responding to someone speaks to me or say something to me, I remember the fofo, the 4 agreements. So I don't know if anybody at home or anything like that, and you want to write these agreements down, I truly advise you to do it. Because what it does, and it helped me, is that it helped me to be able to respond to someone in a more positive way that will make me feel good about my choice. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
So let me tell you the first thing. And I kind of wrote it down here so I can tell y'all. All right. So in my first one, when I was reading the comments, right? And I went to the very first agreement. The first agreement is be impeccable, meaning to use your words impeccable. And if you don't know what that means, what impeccable means, it means behavior, performance in accordance to a higher standards of priority, faultless. That means regardless to what someone says or does to you, you still use your word at a higher standard. So you know that saying with my good old South Side Chicago, First Lady Michelle Obama said, when they go low, you go high. That's exactly what that means. So instead of me coming back with some words, nasty words back to them, I just came back with what I know best, and that's in love. In truth. Because I did trigger some people. Because when I spoke and I talked and they heard my voice, I was a trigger to them. I was a mirror to them. Number 2, I saw all these comments once again calling me all kinds of names, bitch, I'm a whole slut, all of these names, all of this. In the second agreement, don't take it personal. And I know you're like, Nyomi, how can you not take it personal when that's what they was calling you? They was saying all this stuff about you and your daddy, and they was doing all this and that whatever. I was like, that ain't none of my business. And let me tell you why it ain't none of my business. Because everything that they said, it ain't true. I know my truth.
Right.
What they feel or they think, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Nothing. See, remember, they came on my page. That's how. And that's only 2. That's only 2 agreements. That I know that ain't had nothing to do with me. That's them.
Right.
They feeling some kind of way their own self. And they're just spewing it out on me. And I'm not taking it. I'm just, I'm smiling because I'm like, thank you. You just helped me with some more, keep throwing them bricks. Keep throwing them stones. I like that. That's what I was like. I like that. Give it to me. And then the third agreement, y'all. Don't make assumptions. And I know y'all like, how does this relate to that, Nyomi? How does that relate to them calling you all them names? And I say, don't make assumptions because I can't assume that they were going to take the time to come over and watch the whole complete video. I can't assume that. I have to understand that some people do things for clickbait. And can I be honest? That was a little clickbaitish of me. It was a little shock value for me. It was. But what I was trying to do is trying them to get over there to hear the complete message that I was talking about. But that's when I said, you cannot assume they will go over there and watch the full video. You can't assume that they sit and they've been watching you for the past 2 or 3 years of the transformation that you've been going through. You can't assume that. Girl, they've been watching you butt-ass naked, doing all kinds of stuff on. No. They want to see you the way that they want to see you and nothing else.
Wow. Yeah.
So as long as they can continue to see you like that, and if they see any growth in you or something turning into another way that makes them feel shame, they're going to put the shame on you. See, because when I was doing it, I wasn't ashamed. I was not ashamed because I knew why I was doing it. I knew I was a good person. I knew where my spirit and my soul was. I knew all of that. But let me tell you this also, because I got a lot of scriptures that was thrown at me. I did not step my little black ass in no church either. Because one thing I said, I was not playing with God. Now I was pray to God every day on my way to set, or when I was traveling, when I was going to the club, just as I do now, before, during, and after. But I didn't go into God's house, or at least where they say where his house is at. I didn't go in there. And if I did, it had to be somebody got married or somebody died. Otherwise, I did not go into a church the whole entire time that I was active in the industry. When I started going back to church is when I left the industry, when I was pregnant with my last child. That is when I went back into church. So when I'm talking right now, I'm talking with passion. Because I know that there's a lot of people out there that felt like they've made a wrong decision in their life, and people trying to continue to put that on them, like they cannot change or they cannot grow from that. Like they are not worthy of God's love. And that ain't right. Because we all are. That's why I was told to put that video out. That's why I was told to be bold in what I was doing. And like I put on that post, boy, if I would have did this about 5 or 6, I would not be able to handle it. I'd be on there cussing all kinds of stuff. So this real classy, whatever, that South Side, I'm telling you, when that South Side Chicago girl come out up in there, y'all don't want to see her. But I've grown from that. I've grown from that. But I did. I looked at them comments and I was like, whoa. I felt so bad for them. And the worst thing, it was a bunch of men up in there. They were mostly all men.
They would, I won't even say hating. The thing is, what I hear it is, it's like they cannot understand why you stopped doing what you're doing. And now they see you and they see your growth.
Mhm.
I mean, most of them, they see your growth, but they didn't want that growth for you. They wanted you to be how you used to be. So like you said, they didn't even take the time to hit over or go back and listen to, hear the whole thing out.
Right. Right.
So that's their problem. Like you said, that's their
Right.
issue.
But can I be honest? But what I was getting upset with, because I had a lot of people that came in there and showed me much love.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Both women and men came in there and showed me much love. And what I didn't like is I didn't like the name calling to those that of support. I didn't like that. And actually, I'm gonna do a show on this because I don't know what this word simp means. I don't know what this word being a simp is, but we're gonna talk about this on a later show. We're gonna do a whole topic and a whole show about it. But with this, I didn't understand. You know what I'm saying? I understood, but I was like, why are they so angry? And can I be honest? I truly underestimated, and this is where with the what I felt about myself, I truly underestimated on how viral this will go. Because I might get a good 10, maybe 10, 15,000 views, maybe on a video once in a blue moon.
Right.
So I thought it was gonna be a nice little 5, 6, 7,000 views or something like that. But then when I saw them just flashing in, folks were even emailing me some crazy mess. They're emailing me some crazy mess. I was like, wow. I was like, wow. Wow. And then I had to pull a few of them back. She know who she is. She was like, I'm gonna get them. No, don't get them, baby. Leave them alone. Don't even. Don't even.
It's coming for them.
It's like, no, we're not gonna do this because it's a lesson to be learned in here. Remember what I said during surrender? I said, this is more important to me than anything right now. Me being able to speak to you all and whoever else is listening. Because remember, we have an assignment and we have a purpose in life. That we can sit here and we can be grown and have authentic conversations about sex, about spirituality, and not shame anyone. If anything, we can educate each other on what it is. There are ways that we can speak and we can talk to people to let them know what we about or help another person through. But because remember, all I ever say is like, we are here to serve one another. My closing is always be good to one another in yourselves. And always keep it sexy. You understand what I'm saying? But those are true words from me. They are genuine words from me. And I got to go back to 3. I cannot assume that everybody feel that way. Then I got to go back to agreement 2. Don't take it personal. It ain't about you. Then I got to go back to 1. Still, regardless, use your words impeccably. Oh my God. Because words are magic. Words are magic. And even though all those words that came down on me and all of those words that were spoken in them comments, I rebuked all of them. Those ain't my words.
Right.
Because I knew I was covered. But I also knew that this was a teaching moment. That's what I did know. And then I had to figure out, okay, girl, now how you going to do it? How you going to teach this? Are you going to show all the comments and go back and forth with it? Or are you going to really sit in it and teach on, show people how can somebody say something, say one of y'all in the argument with your man or whatever, and he's saying something, or your woman or whatever. And instead of you coming back with something, whatever, just, like, damn, what's she going through? Just think about it, what that person is going through at this point in time. Because probably 90% of the time, it ain't even about you. It's really not. That's deep, ain't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. What other people feeling, you know?
What other people feeling. Like yesterday, I was talking to my oldest daughter, and we had this little, and I got a little feeling from her. I ain't gonna say what the whole comment, but I got a little feeling, and I had to check myself. I said, you need to go pray on this because you got to do the fofo. You got to do the fofo, and I do this. Let me tell you something. I was at my cousin's wedding, which was a beautiful wedding in Florida a few weeks ago, and so we had this slumber party with all of her bridesmaids. We was all there, and I was telling them about the book. Wherever I go and I get some knowledge, I'm sharing that knowledge. Mm-hmm. I am sharing knowledge. Whatever I'm learning, I'm giving it, and I'm sharing it, especially if I see it in action, in reality, right now, the moment that it is needed. So as my cousin, who was the bride, she was talking to me and she was telling me some things, and she was getting so upset. And I said, wait, hold on. I said, I'm about to tell you about this book. And I started telling her about this book, and her face just lit up like, oh my God, cousin. She was like, oh my God, cousin, thank you. And it was like, what are you talking about? And then all of a sudden, all of us women were around each other. And we was talking about this. And it was the fofo. See, me and my sister, who actually told me to read this book, she was like, girl, you need to read this book. And I read it. Well, actually, I have the book and I have it on Audible. So let me tell you something. I listened to it on Audible first. It's like a 2.5-hour listen. And I listened to it while I was in my garden, in the backyard. I listened to it while I was cleaning up, while I was cleansing the house. Like I was listening to it. I was even listening to it when I was working out. But I was listening to it, and I listened to it like 3 or 4 times. It's that good. And maybe it's so good to me because I am thirsty for the knowledge. Right. I am thirsty to be free. I am thirsty to be at peace. Maybe that's why. I am thirsty for the growth spiritually. I no longer want to be a prisoner in my own body, in my own mind. I don't. And everything that I'm learning, I'm putting it right here, right here. I am no preacher. No. I just be speaking. That's it. And number four, always do your best. No more, no less. And what that means is you be you. And you do the best that you can. Don't try to overdo something. Don't try to overprove yourself to somebody. Just be you. Either they gonna like you or they not. Don't dumb yourself down to be around nobody. Be your truth. So that's why I didn't turn them comments off. That's why I didn't take that video off. Because I was doing the best, my best. No more, no less. That's how I get through all of those comments. And then I say, they don't speak my language. Not, at least not now. Once you know the truth about yourself and you tell your truth, don't nothing else matter. I'm telling you, don't nothing else matter. That's one thing some people hate. People hate when you living in your truth. People hate when you can be bold and you can stand in your shit. Because they have nothing against you. What I mean, they have nothing on you. They don't like that. People like to have that upper hand on you. They like to try to keep you down because they think you're going to rise above them. And that's not it. We're supposed to come from a loving God. We're supposed to be full with good, loving, peaceful energy. We ain't supposed to be coming and tear somebody down because they have the courage to stand in their truth. That's why I give these beautiful young ladies to come on here and tell their story, whether they're in or out of the industry. Because they are humans too. They have a soul too. They require love, compassion, empathy, respect. They're not out here killing nobody. They out here doing the same thing that a lot of y'all doing behind your husbands and your wives' back. Okay, let me slap my hand because that was not right.
Yeah.
That was not right. Sorry. I'm not perfect.
There you go. There you go.
I'm not perfect.
Still a learning process.
Yes. But y'all understand what I'm saying. Y'all understand what I'm saying, right? And this is all to all of my sex workers out there, whether you a porn star, you a stripper, you an escort, a prostitute, or whatever, baby. Y'all hold y'all heads up. Hold y'all heads up. And it don't matter what your situation is or why you here to do what you do. You just be the best at it that you do it. And when it's time for you to get out, just pray to God that God keep you safe while you are out there doing it. And then when it's time, you ask God to remove you when it's time to go. Remove you from there in peace. Don't allow nobody to shame you into anything, because what you had to do is why you had to do it. It's because it's between you and God and nobody else. It was a beautiful young lady who sent me she actually sent me a voice. And when I say it moved me so much that I'm gonna have her on somewhere down the line, but her story hit. So she was like, I just thank you for being able to put that out there. And that was just a minute in 20 something seconds.
Mm.
But that made her, she went and started scrolling through my timeline. And then she went and was listening to the videos. And she was a dancer. She was in adult entertainment. And her son was getting bullied.
Mm.
And she said she went to the news, she went to everybody, but everybody felt because she made a decision that she felt at that moment of her time was best for her and her child, that she wasn't deserving, or that child wasn't deserving of respect. When I look at this world, I just want to cry. There's too many broken souls out there. Too many broken spirits out there. I told y'all I was coming in hot, didn't I?
You came in. Can't talking the dog pound. But I feel you. I understand. I understand where you're coming from. Because, you have no shame. But it's like people who look at you and watch you and follow, it's like they have shame. They have issues. They have things. That's their problem. But not sometimes, all the time, people want to lay their problem and their shame on somebody
on
else.
you, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like we have to stop. We have to be who we are. You remember when the shows first started and we was talking about the representative?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Some people live the representative all of their life. And I know, ain't y'all tired of that?
They always repping.
Like, seriously, ain't y'all tired of that? I know the hell I was. You know?
But I know you done said this many times before on the show, is for some people, for a lot of people, most people, it's hard to live in their truth, because first you got to go find out what your truth is. Then you have to go through the whole process of forgiving yourself for so many things so you can get to that point, And like you said, it's a work in progress. It's not easy. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, but you got to start somewhere.
You're right. You're right. I was talking to trying to say if my sister, because I'm always talking to somebody.
Yeah.
I'm always talking to somebody. But what I always say is where the foundation. Do anybody know where the foundation is? What their foundation is? And that's the thing. Nobody know who their foundation is, what their foundation is. A lot of people say, oh, God is my foundation. Jesus is my foundation. My thing is, how can you have faith in somebody else when you don't have faith within yourself? How can you love somebody else and you don't love yourself? That's why we got to start falling in love with ourselves. Embrace all of that's in there. All of the imperfect of us. Love all of that. Check it, correct it. That's why we got to change that lack of self-love. And you got to fall in love with yourself. Fall in love with it. Fall in love with yourself. Go look at yourself in the mirror. Do your work. Say what you love about yourself or what I want to change. And why do you want to change it? Do you want to change it because you see somebody else or somebody told you need to change? And be real. If you an asshole, then you be the best asshole over there in the corner by yourself with other assholes. Don't bring it to somebody that ain't an asshole. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I sure do. I hear you, yeah.
Don't fake the funk and then you come in being an asshole with something. You know what I'm saying? Just move it.
Wow.
Man, let me tell you something, y'all. I got these little butterflies and flitters in my stomach. Let me tell you something. Before every show, I pray. I come in here, I sage the whole room. And I ask God to decrease me and increase him within me. Every time. Because even though I got these words written down on this paper of what I'm going to say, I still will allow for him to move me. Move through me.
Yeah.
And it might be sometimes I might say something I'm not even going to remember it tomorrow. Or even the next 5 or 10 minutes. I'm just telling y'all now, this is going to just how it go. Y'all know here we have good times. We have some really good, great conversations, but they all authentic, real conversations. When we talking about sex, when we talking about cheating, when we talk about spirituality, when we talk about everything, we talk about real shit here. We ain't faking. The only fake is my eyelashes. I don't know what color my eyes today. That's it. All of this spirit this is some genuine stuff that is coming from us. And I love when my BTG crew come in and they some real ones. And I love the courage of a lot of you all that call on the phone, especially Mask Man, because you want something different. You looking for something different that's better. Just like actually everybody here. Really, everybody in the world wants something different, something better, something special. but they can't get out of their own way. We all been stuck and brainwashed in this one little thing. But I'm here to help, encourage, inspire. I will continue to use my platform. I will continue to use my voice to do this very thing. So after we come back from the break, I have some more little steps and, little things that can, kind of help if you see somebody in that situation, or even if you one of those people that, you find yourself, causing shame upon someone because, you said something. Then I got some tips that kind of can help that, all right? It's your girl, The Goddess, Nyomi Banks, here on Ask Nyomi Bridging the Gap podcast. We'll be right back.
I have not met my match. I always think I do because I'm, he cute. But when I go soulfully, a lot of men are not in tune with who they are on a deeper level. And so it's hard. I need me like a magic man here. That's why I moved to Vegas, huh? I moved to Vegas to hope to find someone with a higher vibration and that they can live in duality. They have a good side and a dark side. Because in my meditations and in some of my shamanic past life regressions, I've been shown that why I didn't have children yet, and then I have children coming. They're just waiting for the right partner.
Ask Nyomi, Bridging the Gap. This is where we talk about love, sex, relationship, cultural differences. Hey, my sexy people, it's your girl, The Goddess, Nyomi Banks. And I finally did it. I've written my first book. Well, actually, it's a living journal. It's called Good Morning, My Sexy People, where I share my stories in different posts, but help a healing workbook for you. So it's 90 days to kick off your healing living journey. Pre-purchase now. Go to asknyomi.com and hit shop. Listen.
Hey, y'all go pick up that book yet? It's your girl, The Goddess, Nyomi Banks, here on Ask Nyomi Bridging the Gap podcast. Welcome back. Tonight's topic is, whose shame is it really? Whose shame is it really? Is it my shame or is it someone else's shame?
Well,
Is it? All right, so before the break, I said that I was going to give a few tips on how to promote acceptance and inclusivity amongst without shaming people, especially sex workers. And that's who I'm speaking to mostly right now because I am a sex worker. It ain't not I consider I was a former or I was a whatever. My videos are going to be out there for the rest of my life and beyond. And I understand that. But there is no reason to shame folks for decisions and choices that they made in life and make them feel that they are not worthy of. It's many times that I see beautiful women and they don't never come for the men. Why is that? That is some double standard stuff. I don't ever see them coming for the men. I don't ever see them coming for Lex or Marcus or Prince or never. I'm like, wait, why they don't never come for them? But they always come for the women.
That's some double standard stuff there.
That's some bull crap.
Yeah, some bull crap.
Yeah, I was like, why they don't never come for the men? They always coming for the women. But anyway, here are some steps that, can kind of help with some things. It says we can educate ourselves and others about our experiences, a challenge faced by these individuals, and challenge our own bias and assumptions. This can involve reading up on issues, attending workshops or talks, or engaging in discussions with people from these communities. Like they have a few conventions that's around. They have Exotica. Exotica is like in 4 different states. They come to Chicago, Miami, New York. I think was it DC? They're in DC now. So they have these seminars that's ran by Nyomi Morgan. She's a sex therapist specialist. She teaches and everything. They have all of those things to kind of help, people, with their with their sexuality, and just knowing and educating them on, as well as their our porn stars there, all of that there to educate. And then you do have AVN that's held here in January, and then you have XBiz. XBiz goes to Miami, New York, and in LA. And then I believe there's one that's and I want to make sure that it's one in Atlanta. I think it's in Atlanta. It's called S dot Soft dot, something like that. I've been wanting to try to get down there to it, because actually it is I believe that it's black, is a black founder of it. A black founder of it. I think that's what it is. Okay. I think that's what it is, but it's somebody that I really want to reach out to, and I really want to go down there to, kind of see how they move and how they working with their thing. There's something that I like. And then actually, Urban X, I believe they are doing a festival coming August as well. I don't know exactly what it is, but you understand what? And then y'all can always come back here. I always got some knowledge for you, right here.
Yep.
Right here. All right, number 2. Okay, we can actively support organizations and initiate the work towards promoting inclusivity and empowerment for marginalized group. And we can volunteer. There's a lot of different groups and organizations that are out now that you can, volunteer at. That's all over the world, all over the country. The biggest thing now is trans. They need a lot of help in with that, as well as sex workers with that one. And then number 3, we can strive to create spaces and environments that are welcoming and inclusive of all individuals, regardless of their background, experience, and model inclusive behavior and attitudes in our personal interaction. By taking these steps, we can help create a more equitable and just society for all. Yes, for all. So those are a few steps that I got that you guys could kind of help some folks. And then I got a list of organizations too, that you got. I did write a blog. I wrote a whole complete blog on it. Don't go looking at it right now, because I'm still trying to get it together. So hopefully I will have that blog up next week that you guys can see, and I have some links and stuff to it. But you got the Trevor Project, BIPOC AIC, and that's Adults in Collective. That's a very great organization. I believe it was started in 2020 by Miss Cinnamon Love. And everybody knows she was an iconic, legendary adult star. This is her platform, and this is what she has been doing with a group of people that has been doing some amazing work with it. The National Organization of Women, Disabled American Veterans, Trans Lifeline, all of those things, you guys can go and check it out from there and be able to help there. So what I want to do right now is I want to open up the phone lines. You guys could call me and ask me some questions, or whatever. So the phone number is 626-605. Ask Nyomi. That's 626-605-2756. And you can call me up and we can talk. We can talk about this shaming stuff or whatever. But please, let's not have a repeat of last week's show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was truly off the chain. Off the chain. Yes, Reg, you did. You did purchase it back a while back. All right, let me see what my BTG crew's saying.
Let's go up a little bit. We'll go on to self-love.
Okay. Self-love is hard because what it is that you should love about you when you hate yourself. Is that what that said? Because I can't see from this thing right here.
Yep. Self-love is hard because what it is that you should love about yourself when you hate yourself.
Wait, say that again.
Self-love is hard because what is it that you should love about yourself when you hate yourself?
Self-love is hard because what is it that you should love about yourself when you hate yourself? I guess the question is you just ask, why do you hate yourself?
Exactly.
Why do you hate yourself? Do you hate yourself because of what someone else says? Or is it what you've done or what you haven't forgiven yourself for? So it's like, why do you hate yourself? Are you comparing yourself to some? And I'm just doing surface right now.
Right. But
So I guess the question is, why do you hate yourself?
okay,
What you was gonna say?
they put up another one, and this is: I look at myself in the mirror every day and try to tell myself nobody likes you. You're gonna lose. Smile, you loser.
Okay,
Brolin.
yeah, Brolin D. I guess my question is, why would you say no one likes you?
Mhm.
Hmm. Those you have to change those because it was something that I read the other day about how subconsciously, how we consciously think of some things and we think that we are in control of of our emotions, of our thoughts of things, you
Mhm.
understand? And then all of a sudden there's something that come back here that is your subconscious. I read that I think it said like 97% of your thinking comes from your subconscious.
Right.
97, that's a lot. 97% comes from your subconscious. So even though you right here with something else in the back of that subconscious come and it just takes everything away. But what I learned is that what lies in subconscious is your ego.
Mm.
Is your ego. And when I start reading that, I'm gonna have to come back with y'all when I read the rest of it. But I'm just on the tip of right now with ego.
Okay. We got a call up. You want to take this call?
Sure.
Hello there, Naomi Banks.
Hey, Joseph
Good
Turner.
to hear from. Good to hear from you. About your topic, I'm not sure who's really to shame, but personally, I think it's more like the cyberbullying is to blame for these suicides, especially featured in topic series like Web of Lies or specials from 2020.
What's the specials on the 2020? If you can share that.
Uh, heard someone took their life because of cyberbullying,
Mm-hmm.
or if it's because of porn, I'm sorry that it's happening to you and other porn stars like you. But also, speaking of porn, I don't wish to change the subject, but I have to mention this. I know politics might not associate with you, but it might because it concerns. I don't know if you know this lady or not, Stormy Daniels,
Yes.
and one crazy, whiny little, pardon my language, bitch billionaire who almost tried to destroy the government, Donald J. Trump, who's going on trial for that and other things. But my question to you and your co-host, should he be put behind bars, or is he gonna end up getting away like it, acting like he's untouchable, like a gangster?
Mm. I guess he's so used to getting his way. He's so used to everything working in his favor from the time. I mean, he learned it from somewhere. You understand what I'm saying? And if you go look back, remember before he had gotten elected, even because remember he did the Oprah Winfrey show. And remember what Oprah Winfrey had asked him about, will he ever run for office? And he said no. He was like, no. He said this country is stupid. That is what he said. Fast forward years down the line. Yeah, fast forward. Then he kind of knew that, oh, well, I see the world, I see as the country as stupid. I can control them the way that I need to control them. They're my puppets. Because he saw as all of the things that he got away with all of this time.
I think he should be locked up, especially for his.
Well, yeah, him and a whole lot of other politicians.
I think he should be locked up, especially for his Access Hollywood comments saying he could get away with anything. And I'm sorry to say this also, grabbing women by the pussy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for.
Yeah. But this is the thing. He was allowed to say those things. I mean, and he didn't have any repercussion. They voted him in, even after all of that. So him thinking that I can get away with anything, they literally showed this man that he can get away with anything.
Right.
He hadn't filed taxes in I don't know how long. Like he was literally living his best life. So yes, he felt like and he's still feeling now. I don't know how old is this man, about 60, 70 years old. So if all of your life you felt like I've been getting things my way and I'm doing, yes, that's what he feels. That's because that is what the country has showed him. That is what politician white, that's what they showed him. And he just putting it right back in their faces. He just open with his. It's horrible.
Well, thanks for answering my questions. I know you're probably going to have more callers coming in, so I'll let you answer them and talk to you next time.
All right. Well, thank you, Joseph. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, guys, it's your girl, D Goddess Naomi Banks here on Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap podcast. That's one thing that I used to hate talking about, politics.
Yeah.
Really, because can I be honest? Because I really didn't know or follow a lot of politics. I didn't. I would say that I was maybe ignorant or not, not so knowledgeable about it that I can sit and have conversations about, what law needs to be passed or what doesn't. I'm more in tune with it now a little bit more, but those are not, my, I'm watching the soap opera just like everybody else. Yeah, I'm watching it too, like everybody else. Like everybody else, yes. All right, go to T Brown.
Here we go. Okay. Our words have power, whether we use them on ourselves or on someone else. Our words have the ability to build them up or tear them down.
Right. And that's to go back to the young man that was saying about how he looks in the mirror every day and he says he says that he's a loser, and those are things that you are speaking of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And remember when I said words are magic? When I say this is that this book, and you guys go, I picked up this book from Five Below. I don't know if you guys have Five Below in the city that you have, but I got this book for $5. But I also purchased it on Audible, so you can get it from Amazon too. And then here it truly do say about words are like magic. It's like unbeknownst to us, we do black magic on each other. It was a story that he spoke about this one lady and her daughter. And he was saying that the woman, she was such a beautiful woman, beautiful spirit. And she had a headache one day. Her head was hurting or whatever. And the baby, she was singing. And she kept singing, and the mom was like, kind of, quiet it down or whatever. And she just kept on singing. And so the mom, in frustration, she told her, stop singing. You can't sing anyway. which caused the baby to not want to sing or really even speak anymore.
Wow.
And what I mean speak is really have a voice. We don't understand how the words that we speak or we say, especially to our kids or what have been spoken to us, how long that it lasts, that it kind of builds our character or who we are, or kind of round us on who we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I was the type of child that I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna go back and forth with you. You know, I was put in a situation with my mom and my dad that, I mean, I had to take care of home while they were out at work, you know. So they put me in a situation where I thought I was running situations and things. And so I will be very, compatible, debatable. You know, my mom said, you should have been a lawyer, or I should have been. She thought I was going to be the first woman president. I don't know how she thought that, because I used to hate first American history. I didn't like nothing in politician, none of that. But that's what she thought, because I was always talking. I always had a rebuttal of something. I always had to debate a situation, like literally. And she was like, okay, this is what you need to be doing, because you always have something to say to me. You always have to have the last word. But what it did do, those situations had my sister to where she just would not speak. Like she would not have a voice. Because she heard what my mom would say to me, and she's like, I don't want that. I don't want none of that. So she said, I'm not going to say anything. So words are powerful. That's why with my kids, with my children, I'm very intent on the words that I say when I speak to them. And especially when I speak into people as well. Now, was I always like that? Hell no. I wasn't. But now I know how powerful words are. That's why when y'all see on my post, I lead in love. I speak from a loving place. I use my words impeccably. You say I had to go like this, impeccably. Yeah, I and then the funny thing is that I knew that even before reading this book. You can go back and look through some of my posts from way back, and somebody might come in and say something, and I'll be real sweet with it on the end of it. Be real sweet with it on the end of it, like, nah, we want to get real slick and say something. I'm like, no, you can't do that. Because that don't do nothing but just builds and builds and builds up a whole bunch of sugar honey iced tea. It really does. Yes, Rico. The tongue is one of the most powerful parts of a human body, and you can destroy a person without even touching you. You can. You surely can. You surely can. You surely can. All right, so let's do this. Let's take a quick break, and then we're gonna come back, and they're gonna read some more of these comments, and then we're gonna shut this show down a little bit. This was not a 2-hour show. We coming back. All right, it's your girl D Goddess Naomi Banks here on Ask Naomi Bridget Gap Podcast. It is Ask Naomi Ladder time. This is where my viewers will write in to me, and I will give them my advice. And I will open up for you listeners too, if you guys have any advice on this one. But this is a really good one. He said, I'm a big fan of your work and blog. I was wondering if it's possible to get out of the friend zone with someone you might be interested in. He said, keep up the good work. If you're ever in New York after the pandemic is over, I would love the opportunity to meet you. And we just going to say Jay from NYC. That's what we're going to say. If you got any love, sex, or relationship advice that you need, you can email us at info@asknaomi.com. Also, if you like this video, like, subscribe, share, comment, all of those good things. I want you to keep it simple. All right, so my number one, I read it before, and it's the Bind. And this is a new one for me. It's like one when I was doing the research on it, and actually when I did my class on this, I actually got a 96 out of this class. But I saw with licorice, and I love licorice. I really do. And that vine, the vine is something that I thought that would be pretty cool, like wrapping the licorice around your mate's penis and eating it off or sucking it off or something like that. That's my number one food game with this. So, my number two.
All right, if you want to hear more of Nyomi's top tips, make sure you tune in every week, every Thursday at Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap on podcast, YouTube Live, and every streaming network. Keep it sexy.
Hey, it's your girl D Goddess Naomi Banks here on Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap podcast. Hey, we were talking about whose shame is it really? Whose shame is it really? Is it yours? Or is it mine? Or who is it? We kind of got deep in. We talked about the 4 Agreements, a book that I'm reading right now. This is how I got through all of those comments. And it's by Don Miguel Ruiz. Actually, like I said, I picked this up from Five Below. That's actually when I was in Florida. That's when I picked it up. But I had actually read it. Well, actually listened to it on my Audible. I got it from Amazon from Amazon there. And it's truly a really, really great book. And if it's anything, what's that young man named? That one young man, Brolin D. If you got a chance, if you can go and pick up that book, and hopefully that it can help you, really. And I understand. I thought I saw Yolanda say something about depression. I thought she said something about, but we'll go back to that. We will go back. We'll go back to that. Okay. Okay, we'll go back to that. But let's take a caller.
Let's take a call. This is Rock Hard, I believe.
Hey, caller.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello? You can hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, what's happening? How y'all doing?
What's good? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm cooling.
You cooling?
Yeah, I'm cooling. I had wanted to make a comment on earlier. You said don't assume.
Don't assume.
I stand on that wholeheartedly, like from all angles, because you never know what a person going through.
Exactly.
And you really don't know the other side of certain situations. So it's never really good to like just jump to your guns and assume and think like you're always right about something, especially about a person. Like definitely take time to like, I always say take the time to get to know a person.
Exactly. Exactly.
I definitely
Go ahead.
I stand on that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, me too. So, even when I was, putting out the four fofos with that assuming, and like I said, when I had broke it down, that truly helped remove myself from the whole situation. You understand what I'm saying? Because I knew, first of all, they were trying to assume on what I was doing, or why I was doing it. I saw a lot. Now she wanted to do that anyway. She was a freak. I've never denied that I wasn't a freak. I was a freak to my man. I wasn't out there, doing whatever. But that's what that assumption is. They don't even understand that it's a lot of women that's in this industry and men that come from corporate. They come from corporate. They made like this is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And some people have walked away making millions. And it's not just from shooting the film, it's from branding their names with different merchandising and different stuff like that, with different businesses. You have Roxy that has like 2 or 3, 4 different businesses. myself. You know, you have so many different people that have so many Cherokee, Pinky, that have so many different businesses. Jenna, you know, I can go name down a few that's doing so many great things using their brand. Lisa Ann, Tara,
Yeah.
Nina. You know, I can just keep going down and down, that these people, just because you see them on these films and they was making whatever much on that time, do you understand what they were using, what they branded their names and what they're making off
Like,
those names?
oh, so lovely. Like, I seen on her Instagram, she basically said, like, she used a lot of her money to go to medical school to help her peoples. Like,
yes.
It's like she's really giving back in the medical field. Like, that's what we need. Like, you just want to see like an adult actress, but what I see is an entrepreneur that's giving back to our people. That's the main thing that I always ask from anybody: give back to your community.
Yes.
Like, if you got a chance to give back, because you really don't know a person's situation. Like, I'm not sure if you watch the show Snowfall.
Yeah, I do. Actually, my girl was on there. Miss Dizelle Yvette was on there. Mm-hmm.
But it's just like the end. Like, Franklin, he looked like a straight up bum, and that had me started thinking like, yo, I wonder how many homeless people I walked by that used to be a millionaire.
Yeah,
you really
a lot.
don't know a person's situation.
Go ahead.
You really don't know.
Yeah. You know, what was it, a few years ago? I had met this white guy here in Vegas and had this long conversation with him. He was married, had children, kids, working the Fortune 500 job, like had all, and he couldn't take it anymore. He did not want that pressure or that life. He came to Vegas and stayed and never went back. And now he just, you know, bumming on the street, and he likes it.
Yeah. It's hard out here. It's crazy out here.
Crazy.
And can I just say one more comment, and I'm gonna let you go?
Mm-hmm.
This weekend, like, I had a little tragic. I had one of my friends was just recently shot. And I'm just trying to just encourage everybody, if you can, please put your guns down. If you could do just one thing, please put your guns down. There's too many of our people dying over nonsense and petty BS. I'm begging everybody, if you got a chance, please put your guns down. And I'm going to just leave it at that. I appreciate you, Nyomi, and I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I apologize for that.
No problem. But you're so silly. No, that needed to be said. Thank you so much. You know, matter of fact, as you speak on that, you know, I'm originally from Chicago. That's my hometown. And this past weekend, Memorial Day weekend, there were over 50 people, over 50 something people that had gotten shot. And I think like 9 or 10 of them were killed. And my cousin had called me, and he was up in the uproar. Did you hear that it's a mass shooting in Chicago? And I said, going on right now? He said, right now. This was on a Tuesday that he called. And so I called my family back at home, and then I looked on the news, and I said, no, that was the weekend. So I had to call him and say, no, baby, that was just a weekend thing in Chicago. When on Memorial Day, when the sun come out and it get warm outside, you know, people, I don't know what it is. They go out there and they do their thing. But you are so right. Put those guns down. You know, when it came to a point in time that we have to disagree. In our disagreement, we can't talk about it, that we have to use guns and shoot. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm so sorry to hear about your friend. Is he still alive?
I mean, he just woke up yesterday. They took the tools out of his throat and stuff, but he's talking right now. He's trying to get his legs strong so he can start walking again. But you know, everything is just one day at a time. We praying for him, and we're just trying to, just trying to stay strong for bro. But again, I just can't keep saying it. If you could do one favor, put your guns down.
Put your guns down.
If you can't, just put your guns down, vent to somebody, think about it. One thing when I was younger, old head told me, he was like, before you do what you want to do, he said, sit in the bathroom for about 23 hours. He said, do that for the week. Now think about it. Can you do that for the next 25 years?
That's a good one, Rod. That's a good one. Thank you,
I was
baby.
19 when he told me, please. But have a great one.
All right, you too, baby. All right, bye-bye. All right, it's your girl D Goddess Naomi Banks here on Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap podcast. I like that. Put your guns down, y'all. Like for real. You know, I live by the motto. If I gotta go somewhere that I gotta be on high alert, then I don't need to be there.
Yep.
If I have to go somewhere and it feel like I have to take a gun and I don't need to be there. Anything or any place that I feel that I am unsafe, I don't need to be there. That's just me. I don't need to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I wish my ass would have thought that a long time ago. But I know I don't have to be there no more. Right. Like, seriously. Okay, we can take another caller. Yes, okay. Hello, caller.
Hello, Naomi, and hello, BTG crew. This is Reggie.
Hey,
Can you hear me?
Reg. Yes. How are you?
Yes, I'm doing wonderful. I was glad I was ready to get through, and I was glad to give you the shout out about purchasing the book because I was the first one. Well, not the first one, but when you were on IG, I made sure I got the autographed book. But I was going to go to your topic of shame.
Yes.
Shame could also tie into, unfortunately, with social media because a lot of times social media shows you kind of highlights of people like living large, and half of them are not living large.
Exactly.
So you can't always equate that to success. And sometimes if people are not at that level and they thinking that if they're not at that level that they're a failure, but it takes time to get to a point where you deemed successful or trying to get to where you're at. So it's a journey. Life is a journey.
Yes.
You know, so I just wish that a lot of young people and even grown people can see that. So it's not just social media, but that is part of it, as well as people kind of pushing all these expectations on people.
Right.
Like, you got to live your life.
Right.
And, you know, so someone may say you should do this or do that, and maybe you have your own path. And a lot of times that could get you all caught up. It could be financial or if you're not asking for help in the sense of like mental health, because you can use example of like Twitch, the famous dancer, and also the guy from Ellen DeGeneres show. Like, he would come in and do the DJing or even co-host on there. Like, nobody saw that coming. Like, no one saw that coming.
Not at all.
So you just need to, you know what I'm saying? You really need to like talk to your friends, see really how they doing, and also too, the people that are having those issues, they need to not be afraid to ask for help.
Yes.
Because a lot of times, you know, if someone would know, like, hey, you're struggling or whatever, mentally or whatever, you know, people would be like, hey, you know, everybody, let's our time, let's get the help that's needed.
Yeah.
Because I liked a commercial that was talking about it, where it was like a dad talking to like his kid. He was saying, I'm really having a hard time. And they're like, hey, dad, or whatever, we're going to work so we don't get the necessary help.
Yeah.
To kind of get you through this. And it was really touching because, like, that's the first time I've ever seen a commercial talk about mental health, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, that's
especially with about an adult.
Right. But,
you know, you always see with a kid.
Oh, I'm sorry. But, you know, that's something that I really do love right now, is that they really are putting a spotlight on mental illness. You know, before, especially with men, men were not allowed to have issues or be have problems. You know what I'm saying? And back in the day,
to be strong, yeah.
Right, exactly. Back in the day, they used to do like drink and do drugs to kind of, put a fog over those issues instead of being able to speak to someone, especially in the Black community. If you go speak to a therapist or anything like that, you automatically crazy. And that's like, no, that is not it. Right.
Right. Yeah. That too. Yeah. Like crazy or weak, you know, you just got to have that strong front, like, nah, nothing bothers you or whatever. So yeah, I agree with you. I'm glad that stigma is changing, because everybody has, you know, things that they have to get through. And if you need to talk to someone professionally, hey, by all means, you should do that.
Yes.
You know, because everybody needs some help. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate your growth, Naomi. Like, yes, I was a fan of your previous work, but I also appreciate what you're doing now. And that's a sign of growth, because everybody has so many different layers that, you know, you should appreciate the the whole essence of someone.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that you're where you're at now, and you're happy and you're thriving. And I also think that self-love is totally important, because like you said, that foundation should show that, hey, you should love yourself. And then, yeah, if you need some additional like foundation, yes, by all means do that, because everybody needs self-improvement, development in themselves. And I'm all about like self-help books, as well as reaching out to other people to kind of build you up. And so I totally agree with you about that. And I was writing down the 4 agreements, because I know I need to get that book too, because like any type of book that can help you become a better person, by all means, I'm all for that.
Yes.
And that's why I bought your book, because I saw that like, hey, that's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
So that's pretty cool. And I wish you continued success. And you have an awesome weekend. I don't want to hold you up, because I know you got other people trying to get a hold of you too. So thank you for taking my call.
Thank you, Reggie. Thank you so much.
And I'll continue listening once I get off. Okay.
All right. Have a good weekend. Bye now. All right. It's your girl, the Goddess Naomi Banks, here on Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap podcast. It was something that Reg had said, and I'm trying to go back into my little mental space, because I didn't want to cut him off no more, because it felt like that I was cutting him off. But and I believe Miss Yolanda had said a little bit something about depression. Can I be honest? And this is what I see, and this is just my opinion. I think majority of the world go through depression. I think majority of the people in the world go through some sort of type of depression. Because at some point in time, we're looking for validation from others as well as ourselves. We don't know what is going on between here and here. And when I'm pointing, because I got to remember that I'm speaking to from our mind to our heart. You know what I mean? And it's like there is sometimes we're not connected. Even in our body, we're not connected as one. And so sometimes those things get confusing. I remember, was it either yesterday or the day I was watching a movie? And no, it was yesterday. I was watching a reality show called the Doubling Down with the Doricos. And a young lady, 16 years old, one of the girls. Now this couple, black couple, has 14 children. And their oldest is 16. And she's now homeschooling. She had went to school for, I think, like a half a semester or something like that. And she wasn't quite used to it, meaning that she was in there trying to learn, but everybody else around her were more on looks, on, who's popular, on this. And she really took schooling, important. But her grandmother, who is old school, was like, no, she really needs to go into school, to get that that relationship with other kids, and socializing with other kids. And can I be honest, I was on the fence with that. You know why I was on the fence with that? Because sometimes influences are not always good. Sometimes influences can create more of a havoc and anxiety in a person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And because there's so many influences, so many different influences from so many places now,
Mm-hmm.
And school seem now for kids more stressful than it did before.
Yeah.
Because so many things you have to worry about. I mean, now you got to look at every school in America. Every kid have to worry about a school shooting because there's been so many of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what, guys, like, for real, can I say this? I thank you all. I thank you all. The ones that come out here is BTG, come out here every week. And, you share your stories, you share your comments. That's a beautiful thing. Those that listen to this podcast every week, I thank you so much with the numbers and just sharing this information. I truly believe that we are on the right path. that we are truly doing something that is phenomenal. I ain't gonna say that's going to be phenomenal. I'm just gonna speak it and say that it is phenomenal. That we can bring different perspective of different things. You understand what I'm saying? And as we continue to grow, it's going to continue. The conversations are going to become more and more of it. My thing is that for us to grow in life, grow in spirit, my goal for me, myself, is to, and I just learned this, is to live a life that I don't have to vacation from. Is to live a life that I do not need a vacation from.
That's a good one. That is a beautiful one.
When I'm telling you, a sister be over here reading, woo, I be out here with no shoes on in the backyard, my hand in the dirt. Now, I ain't smoking no weed yet. No. But I am truly enjoying all of this growth. I will forever be healing. I will forever be growing. And as I continue to grow, as I continue to heal, I will share with you all. My only request is that you guys share these videos, share my asknaomi.com site, share the Spotify, share all of those things. And then let people know, no, they over there talking some stuff. You might need this right now. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, y'all. That's it. I'm all talked out right now.
It was a good one.
It was a good one.
Yeah.
It was a good one. I want to thank you all that truly checked on me. But I was good. I promise y'all. I was so good. I was really, really good. And just your continuous support. I have people that's been with me when I was but I was hardcore. When I was over there at Chocolate Radio, when I was over there at Series with Playboy, and they still rocking with me now. And I thank you for y'all like family, truly. And I thank you all for continuing to ride with me through these transitions, through this growth in life. Because should be all what our purpose is growing in life and making this world a better place, really, truly. But I'm going to leave you all with this. Be good to one another and yourselves. And always keep it sexy. Love, light, prayers.
Hey, it's the goddess Naomi Banks. And I hope you enjoyed that last episode of Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap. And if you did, please like, subscribe, press that notification button, as well as comment. I'll see you next week. Keep it sexy.
Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap. This is where we talk about love, sex, relationships, cultural differences, and so much more.